And good. Hey, how you guys doing? This is a presentation by Cardave at Empowerment Assets LLC and Chris at Empowerment Assets LLC. We'll be breaking down some long-term companies. The first company we're going to dive into is what, Chris?
We have Walmart, WMT.
All right, so the platform is yours, Chris, for you to explain the sheets, the total profits and the balance behind Walmart, and what do Walmart mean to you, and what do Walmart means for the world.
Okay. How y'all doing? My name is Chris. Right now we currently have Walmart. Current price of the stock is 151.45, as you can see up here. And currently, as we are in the after hours, it is, well, the weekend, of course, is up $1.34. All right.
Tell
We
them,
have
tell them how significant $1.34 is when it comes to investing long term when you have 100 shares or you're trading options. Like, give them a little scope on how that will look.
well, pretty much. Well, if okay, I would say if you're like trading options, and Walmart's a great company, of course. Like they have what you don't need, and you can pretty much get anything there. And like I said, they've been around for years, decades, and they ain't going nowhere. So
Okay.
long term, you know that you're gonna get something great out of this company because even during the pandemic, this company was booming. People needed tissue, people needed clothing, groceries, people needed, just supplies in general. So who can you go to?
Right, one
Walmart,
stop
right?
shop, right?
Right. And like I say, it's one of those companies that's gonna always stay consistent. I don't never see them like going bankrupt and just like something happens with the CEO where he just, steps down or something, or he just gets
So you basically
fired.
saying Walmart just got to keep evolving and keep putting out quality products and put people in position to be happy customers.
Correct.
Perfect.
Pretty
Okay.
much. I
All right.
mean,
So,
yeah, just keep the attention of them.
all right. So, what are you going to be breaking down for us today on Walmart? The balance sheet. And this will be very interesting for myself and other people because when you're breaking down the balance sheet, it gives you an insight into cash flow, assets, and debt, and total debt, shares that's issued. So let's get right into it, Chris. Go ahead and explain it and talk your talk.
All right. So right now we have, like I say, like we say, Walmart balance sheet, and as you can see, it has everything up from the yearly assets and the total breakdown of the liabilities, the net worth, equity gross, total capitalization, common stock, uh, liquidity, capital lease obligations. I mean, and total debt. Net debt shared. Basically you can come here and get a lot of information as to seeing like where the company is like really headed and their previous history. um let's see.
So one thing that I think is very important that the people to know out of the list that you should name, the total debt and the total asset. They will pretty much give you I think a viewpoint on which direction the company is heading to. Because if you can look at the total debt and total assets, and the total assets outweigh the debt, that lets you know the company is being read really well by the CEO and the CFO. Would you agree?
I agree.
All right. So can you explain the total assets from 2018 to 2021?
Okay.
Look at the big difference.
Yeah, that's about a what, fit, 15 million dollar difference right there.
Right, right. You're right, right. That's a lot, right? But people fail to realize they think that's a small amount because it's Walmart. But no, that's actually great growth
Mm-hmm.
because you want to grow at a slow pace. You don't want to grow at a super rapid pace because guess what's going to happen? There's going to be a fallback. So as you accumulate slowly, they'll let you know the company is being ran well. So something that I see on here, Chris, that I want you to explain to me is when you go down to the bottom, you see where it said total debt. Have
Yes,
you
sir.
noticed the total debt from 2018 was increasing, then it had a decrease. So that let you know that the company was running well, right? Look at it,
Right.
right? The total debt was it was increasing, and then we had a decrease. That means they was able to pay off their short-term debt, right? Because they was able to make profits in the meantime.
Correct.
All right. Is it a way that that you could tell me what they cash flow is?
Let's see.
All right. I have a method that you can use. You can go to Bing.com.
Bing.
Yeah.
All right, hold
All right. So for the gentleman that's on here that's listening live, Bing.com is a search engine. You can pull up different things on here outside of Google, right? So you type in company like you will, Chris.
on.
All right. Type in yep, cash flow, or you could just type in Walmart stock and it'll pull up. All right, type in WMT. WMT. Take out Walmart. WMT stock.
Oh, okay.
You okay? There we go. You good. I remember how I told you how to look at this, right? Remember?
Mhm.
All right. So for the people that's new to this is a financial segment looking at a company. Chris going to ownership, so you can allow people and make your screen wider, so you can allow people to see who have ownership inside Walmart. You see where it said at the bottom? Just scroll down. You see it?
Yeah.
Ownership. All right. So now, Chris, now give us the rundown of the ownership from the mutual fund and then from institution first. All right. So mutual fund is already loaded up. Now, give me the breakdown of the top 5 companies that and they holding and how many stocks they holding.
Okay. So the top 5 excuse me, the top 5 companies within the mutual fund ownership is the Vanguard 500 index, Statins, the SPDR, and SP 500 ETF trust. Um, Basically, these are the companies that are really like the movers of this stock because they hold so many shares. So in hindsight, when you want to like really figure out like who are like the big whales of the market, these are the names and the people that you need to be looking out for, like your JP Morgans, your
But you see the other one go up. Fidelity.
yeah, Fidelity
Uh-huh.
500 index, and see.
Dow Jones.
Dow. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say the Dow Jones. JP Chase Morgan. All right, so when we get more inside of the institution, Chris, click
Mm.
on the institution at the top. Now, this is where it gets very interesting, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so when you look at Vanguard and you look at Stat Street and you look at the third one, if you anytime you see who in that, Chris, the third one,
Yeah, BlackRock.
that lets you know that is a huge upside coming, or they've been in for a while. BlackRock is like the number one institution in the world when it comes to asset. They got over $10 trillion in assets of personal funds from people, right? And if you guys notice anything down here, you see State Farm have a lot of interest inside Walmart, right? That's
Right,
kind of odd, right?
right.
But it's not really odd when you're looking at it from a financial standpoint because companies want to invest in valuable companies that's going to increase their profit gains over the lifespan of them investing into this company, right? And then you have something like Morgan and Stanley. We all know these are big institutions. And then you actually have Charles Schwab. Scroll down a little, Chris. All right, so you see T. Ross and you see Wells Fargo.
Mm-hmm.
These are all household names, right? And then you see California employee retirement system. So what this means is people are investing their money to quality companies because they want quality return. Like me and Chris talk about all the time, ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to shop at Walmart, you need to have ownership inside what? Walmart.
Right.
Because this puts you in at an advantage of building wealth at the same time you're spending your money. So over a lifespan of you spending and buying stocks on Walmart, you actually getting the goods and the service for free. Right? It started to make sense and it started clicking because if you spend $1,000 at Walmart and you made $5,000 in Walmart stock, the items and goods that you bought at Walmart was actually free.
Yeah, technically.
Because you have ownership in the company. All right, so Chris, one thing that I want to show them, scroll to the top, and I want you to be able to break it down because you remember these things, and you go down a little because we got to go down. Like, yep, Pull it up. All right, so what you want to do is, Chris, you want to hit the arrow to go backwards,
Okay.
or you could just hit finance, but it doesn't really matter. All right, you good now. So go to the top. All right, so when you're looking at this, look at the financial statement, Chris. Now you can get your breakdown and you have it all there. Now give me the income and you just go all the way through to earnings. It's right there.
All right. So from 2018 all the way to 2021, we basically had profit margin. The net income in 2018 was 9.9 billion. Revenue was 500.3 billion.
Wow.
Profit margin 1.97%. In 2019, they had a net income of 6.7 billion. Revenue 514.4 billion. Profit margin 1.3%.
Can you do me a favor? Can you go back and look at the revenue from 2018? What was it? They actually had more revenue in 2019. You see that? You see it?
Yep.
All right. So basically what they're telling you is net income could be totally different from year to year, but net revenue can be what? It can increase.
Right.
All right. So let's see what 2020 looked like at 21. Wow.
They had a net income of 14.9 billion and a revenue of 524 billion.
Wow. Look at the profit margin. That's insane. All right. So even during the pandemic, you basically telling me that Walmart was super succeeding their revenues and net income?
Yes, sir.
And blowing their profit margin out the window. This is great business. And a lot of people need to start paying attention to these things because we spend our money with these companies. We want to make sure these companies are making profits and these companies are building. So what about 2021 so far? What is it looking like?
So far in 2020.
Oh, wow.
Have an amazing net income of 13.5 billion, revenue 559.2, and a profit margin of 2.42%.
So you're telling me on a continuing trend over the last 4 years that Walmart had been having a revenue of half of $500 billion every year.
Yes, sir.
Right. That's pretty interesting because when you look at Walmart, I don't look at Walmart as just a grocery store, like I told you. I look at Walmart, you can get an oil change, a shotgun, you can get fishing equipment, you can get bow and arrow, you can get groceries, you can get medicine. I look at Walmart is basically a conglomerate. Right. And where I stay at in Florida, Walmart is actually building up health clinics that's attached to Walmart. Yes, sir. I'll take pictures and I will share it in a group. So Walmart is getting into the medical industry. So eventually they already hire pharmacists. They're going to be hiring doctors. Right. Right. It's a big deal. Right. Major deal. Right. So the next thing, Chris, is your next company. And then I'll get into my company and we'll hammer away. So now you can type your company in here, Chris, and make it a little bit more simple for you. And I want you to go through it and break it down and give me what you think about it. And then we're going to take your companies to the charts. And we're going to let you do your magic.
Okay. All right. So now we have a company called Apple. And if anybody knows anything about Apple, they are, if not the best company in the stock market to actually trade with, because this company is not going anywhere. It's a great company. I mean, everybody has an iPhone. If you don't have an iPhone, you have something of Apple product, whether that be the earbuds, iPad. I mean, it goes on. And like I said, with the CEO now taking charge after Steve Jobs stepped down and passing, like the company is in good standings. I mean,
and it's so crazy, not to cut you off, Chris, but it's so crazy that you said that because people fail to realize Steve Jobs actually appointed Steve Cook. And Steve Cook is actually running Apple better than Steve Jobs, even though Steve Jobs didn't agree with them increasing the productivity of iPhones every year, right?
Mm-hmm.
But without that mentality and without the products that's being pushed, Apple wouldn't be the conglomerate that it is today.
That's true.
Because Apple is actually worth 2.25. What is it worth? Almost $2.5 trillion. So $2.45 trillion to me, that's astronomical with the market cap, right? That's insane. So now you're gonna break down the ownership and the financial side of it for me, so we can get an understanding, so everybody out there can see how major Apple is and the components of people who own shares in this company.
All right, just like we were saying previously with Walmart, you want to make sure you look out for these big name companies. Like I say, Vanguard, Investo, Fidelity, S&P.
Wait again, you said the S&P, so people need to understand the S&P, right? S&P 500 is actually an ETF that actually has apples inside of it.
That is correct.
Right. Okay. Perfect.
And like I said, Fidelity, T Rowe.
So we seeing the same major companies in the same hedge funds over and over and over and over again, right?
All right, let's go look at the institutional ownership.
Whoa, who was number 2?
If anybody knows the name of this, Berkshire, y'all should know Warren Buffett.
And who was number 3?
BlackRock.
All right, so Warren Buffett, just as this is a little sidebar, right? Warren Buffett actually owns $134 billion in Apple shares. 134, 124 billion. Don't quote me. I just read it earlier. My mind is kind of jacked. But if you look at it, Berkshire owns over 887 million shares, almost a billion shares. Wow.
That was amazing.
And then we have BlackRock. Now, Chris, give me the top 10 holding of these of institution.
The top 10 right here?
Yeah. From the top, all the way from the top down.
Okay, so the Vanguard, Berkshire, BlackRock, State Street Global, Fidelity Management and Research, Geo Capital Management, T Rowe, Nords Banking Investment Management, Northern Trust Investments, Morgan Stanley, another big old name, Legal in General, Nuveen, Bank of America, JP Morgan, and another BlackRock.
Right. So as you can see, BlackRock is actually double dipping. Right. To me, when like you said, before we get to the financial side of Apple, you can see that Apple is demanding very respectful hedge funds and institution is actually investing into the companies, because people understand the product side of Apple is great. Right? When you have products that you're producing yearly, quarterly, nobody can stop you, because guess what? You're a conglomerate.
Right.
Right? Now we can get to the financial side.
And I just wanted to point out that this BlackRock was in North America while this other one was in the UK.
Right. So remember, they worldwide. Is this another way to be able to beat the tax rate and be able to do what you got to do? All right, so now we can go to the financial point side of, you see it right there, financials, and I want you to break it down and then watch how Apple look.
All right, so Apple. Let's see, 2017, they were.
It's not allowing you to click on it. All right, so what you want to probably do is just hit back arrow twice. All right, go back again. All right, now go to the top and do the financials. Wow.
All right, so like I was trying to say, 2017, the net income was 48.4 billion, while the revenue was 229.2.
Wait. Don't just say that just like it's nothing, bro. Like
I know. It's just
do you actually look at that revenue as 229 billion?
Right.
Wow. Okay, go ahead, man.
That's a lot of cash flow. That's more than what I can even think of. Profit margin 21%.
Wow. So all the goods that they're producing, they was able to return 21%. Wow, that's insane.
All right, we're checking 2018. They had a revenue of 265.6 billion and a net income of 59.5 billion with a profit margin of 22.41. So from 2017 all the way to 2018, you can see the huge increase in that. They
Huge.
basically, yeah, they basically just knocked that out of the park, right?
Wow. And then when you think about the net profit is actually increasing net income and then revenues is insane because if you can compare revenues from that year to that year, even though they was major, but when you look at this is really major because this is almost $270 billion.
Right.
Mhm.
Wow.
That's a
Let's see
lot.
what 19 and 20 holds.
All right. So 2019, they had a little dip in revenue from their previous year, a little short.
That's not so bad.
That's not
Five
bad.
billion dollars.
Yeah, that's definitely not that, not even that bad. The net come compared to, yeah, like I said, just about 5 billion short, but it's still higher than 2017 if you really compare it.
Right. So it's in the uptrend still.
Still, all
Uh-huh.
right. So let's go to 2020.
Still put a call.
Uh-huh. Big
Mm-hmm.
money.
All right. So from
Wow, wow, wow.
2019 all the way to 2020, they had an increase in revenue and they jumped back up to 274.5 billion, and the net income was 57.4 billion.
Wow.
So they actually made up some ground from the previous year, which means hey, it's still in the uptrend.
Uh-huh. Now, how much cash flow do they have? Click on the cash flow because this is very important. When I tell you how much cash flow these suckers got, right? So
Mhm.
look. To me, they got over $196 billion in cash flow.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. Apple reported cash flow 80.70 billion for the year 2020, an increase of 25.61% compared to 2017.
Hmm.
That is amazing.
So what he's saying, cash flow, ladies and gentlemen, this is the free cash that a company have to be able to take over other company and to be able to build up a better structure for their company. So if nobody know anything about Apple, it actually acquires smaller companies like every 3 to 6 months.
Okay.
Right. So that's why they're able to have a hedge and stay advantage when it comes to technology, because they can buy a startup company and they can utilize the technology and actually keep the CEO and the CFO and keep all the workers on board just under different umbrella, but Apple actually owns it.
Hmm.
Right. So this is
Right.
the game. This is the game that we play, and it's the game we're supposed to be playing. But nobody showed us how to play the game. But now the rules are changing. Right. You got people like me that's willing to teach people the game. Right. I want to be able to put people in position to be successful. If we can't get the knowledge and we can't use the knowledge, what's the point of sitting around and complaining? If somebody is willing to give you the game and put you in position to understand these financial statements, to understand these technical indicators, the fundamentally sound information on a company that you use every day anyway, why would you not want to take that in?
Right.
All right. So I guess it's my time to break down my company.
Okay.
And remember, these two companies Chris gave you guys, these are very sophisticated companies, great companies for long term. Chris really likes them. We know that we use Walmart, and we know that majority of people have some form of Apple product or some form of using Apple.
Mhm.
Right. So my long term company, I only have one for the day, and I'm gonna share my screen with you guys. And my long term company is going to be Lucid Air. You guys know how I feel about Lucid Air, right?
Lucid Air, eh?
All right. So Lucid Air is an EV company, right? So before we get to that, I'm gonna pull it up for you guys. LCID is the ticket number. All right. So Lucid, right?
Right.
So one thing that I want you guys, I don't know why I pulled that up, but one thing I want you guys to understand that Lucid Air is one of the top EV companies. They don't have any cars on the road yet. So they're gonna be debuting their cars next year. And to me, I think the stock is gonna jump through the roof. So what makes them different and separate them from everybody else is the integrity of the company. The guy that used to work for Tesla actually owns Lucid Air. He designed a model over there at Tesla, and he wanted to build a comfortable and a quality car for the people. He wanted to make sure it was luxury. He wanted to make sure the car fits your style, right? The price tag is a little bit high, $69 for the basic model, up to 135,000, I think, plus for the top end model. But you get 500 miles on a full charge, right? If you don't understand how 500 miles can get you to your destination and back, and put you in position to not have to recharge if you don't want to. You understand that?
Right.
So when we look at the Luicd Air, right, we want to be able to look through the cars, right? As you guys see on the screen, you got Luicd Air, you got the brown one. You can actually design your own car. You have the sleek gray, kind of metallic. Like I told you guys, the max range is 500 miles. And then if you need a recharge, 20 minutes will give you 300 miles. And the horsepower was 1,080. And then you can go from 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. That's unheard of in an electric car, right? But because it's a little lighter. You have batteries, right? And as we head into the EV sector of the world the next 5 to 10 years, when you're looking at EV, you're looking at the world because gas guzzling cars is going to be off the road, and what's going to be replaced with, right? It's going to be replaced with something that's going to put you in position. Go ahead, Christopher. What's your
I just wanted to check something real quick. I didn't know if it was my screen or not, but for some reason I'm still seeing pre-market CNN business.
All right, so let me stop sharing. All right, so we'll go back to Luicd Air. What about now? Share screen. You see Luicd Air now? What you see on your screen?
It's loading. Hold on.
Yeah, so
What you guys see on your screen? You see Luicd Air?
Not yet. It just says has started screen sharing.
All right, perfect. Let me know when you guys see Luicd Air. It should
Okay,
be
there
on
you go.
You see it?
yeah.
All right. So once again, we're talking about Luicd Air. It's going to be one of the top EV companies. Going to change the way we see the world when it comes to handcrafted electric cars. So the car is sleek. The car is good. It fits your need. Is a little bit, or I wouldn't say overpriced. Is a lot of people range, but eventually they will be able to make a car that can fit all our needs, right? As you guys can see, it's three. You got the Air Dream Edition, the Air Grand Tour Edition, and the Air Touring, right? Remember, the price tag is totally different. And then you want to go over to the next model, which would be Air Pure, right? Start at 69,000. It doesn't matter what your budget is. If you can't afford the car, you can afford the stock and still make profits. Got that, ladies and
Right.
gentlemen? If you can't afford the car, you still can afford to buy the stock. Like I said, it's a 500-mile range, 20 minutes to charge, 300-mile range, 2.5 seconds to get to 60 miles an hour. The car is ran off of the top batteries in the world. It's just here to stay. And then when you're looking at the price, what you guys see on the screen, you guys see Trade and View?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
All right,
sir.
so when you're looking at the price, you're looking at the current price. The current price is 21. 2178. To me, this is very undersold because if you look at it from the year standpoint, year to date, what was the max price? 64, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so remember, 64 was the resistance point. So to me, ladies and gentlemen, Luicd Air, Walmart, like Chris covered, and Apple are three great long-term companies to put yourself in position to be able to build wealth. Remember, trading is great, but long-term investment pays well, right? Especially if the company pays dividends, is able to put you in position to get a dividends payment for the rest of your life. So remember, we want to build wealth. We want to keep wealth so we all can be wealthy and be successful. We can do this, right? By building up confidence and building up knowledge and keeping the 3 Ps in mind: positivity, persistence, and patience. Nothing happens overnight. We got to understand that. So now we got to put ourselves in position. So the floor is open to you, Chris, for you could chart your Walmart, so you can chart your so you could chart Apple, and you can give the people. I want you to be able to chart it on the 5 minutes. I want you to chart it on the 6 month, 6 month and 5 minute, if you okay with that.
Okay, hold on. Just give me just a second. Just a second.
Go ahead and do your damage. People need to see and understand what it looks like when you're charting on the chart, because a lot of people get it confused. They don't understand that it's different time frames.
Right.
All right, so Chris is gonna pull up the time frames. You're gonna plot what, Walmart first?
Sure. Actually, hold on. Let me do Apple first. 'Cause I think I already have it kind of did up. So let me check real quick. All
Expand your screen. Let me, or if it's mine. Oh, it's mine.
right. Yeah, I'm gonna do Apple first since I already been kind of hacking at it.
All right, that looks beautiful.
All right. Let me switch over
All
to.
right, and tell the people the indicators that you have set up
All right.
so they can get an understanding.
Got you. Oh. All right. Here we go. So, Apple. All right, make sure I'm kind of lag. Ah, hold on. There we go. All right. So Apple, right? Here we have it. Well, me personally, I have it on a 2 year time frame right now, day to day. But so with this company, Apple, like we were saying earlier, it's not going nowhere. Like as you can see, over the years, it's just kept a consistent uptrend, right? And right here, I have my SMA lines for my long term looking point. So right here, I have my 20, my 50, and my 100, right? And basically, anytime you see them like trending above these lines, typically it trends in that direction. If it falls below it, it tends to break the trend, as you can see here from this example of Apple in September, right? It took a sharp knife down. It tried to find some support right here, but they broke below and they tried to push higher, but the 20 SMA held them and they continued to go down lower, right? So in this situation, you would have know that this trend was already broken, right? So in, in this situation, um, when you want to like look for long-term entry points with like Apple, you want to make sure you buy in on the dips, right? And you want to make sure like the trend is actually like holding true to its nature. So for a company like Apple, even just right now, I mean, look at all these buying points, right? Um, just in this year span, you had a buying point right here. See,
Is it a way to show the price tag?
hold on.
All right, perfect. All right, so look at the red. Put it on a red one. Hover over the red candlestick. What was the
Right,
price tag right there?
right
Right.
there at their lowest, they was 120.54.
Um, right. So if you look at the current price, to me, that's a big discount.
Yeah, that's a big discount, right? That's a what basically a $28 move.
Yeah, and that puts you in position to be able to be. Remember, I told you one of our stocks at the lowest point, especially if you're doing long term, so you can be able to build wealth.
Right. And let's see here. Going off of its current data, where Apple's currently at, um, it recently just hit a high of 151.68.
Mm.
So it it met a ceiling, right? It met a resistance point. So as you can see, it had a nice little what we call that like hammer. It had a nice little hammer form. Basically, it had buyers and sellers on each end trying to keep the position of the current market trend. But as you can see, it fell to the downside, right?
Yeah.
And this line I have right here is a line that I have for support off of like previous data from my history just watching the stock. So typically when I'm charting, I like to keep some of my previous drawings up here so I can actually like understand like how the market may go in a sense of a pullback or just like any type of microeconomic news.
All right, so you basically have a visual, and if it breaks above or below the visual, you can track it and understand that hey, that line was there for a reason. That's basically what you're saying.
Correct.
All right, so you have your resistance and your support line. I like it.
Correct. And as y'all can see, just from off this data right here, you can see this is actually a nice time to go ahead and get in because
Mm-hmm.
found it found some support right here around, let's see,
143.
yeah, about one, yeah, about 143, 144 around this range, right? And
Look at the volume though.
yeah, and the volume, yeah, 86 point what 86.96 million. That's a lot of people
Wow.
interested in this stock. And as y'all can see after what we showed y'all
Now,
earlier,
now, Chris, now go back to
uh,
that. You can't just stumble upon that volume like that and not break it down. Like, break that
so
down,
okay,
man. Like,
okay, I got you. So what volume is, right, is obviously the people that are interested in the stock, like the retail traders, right? That would be considered us, and also like the big corporations too, like you said, your Vanguards, your BlackRock, your JP Morgans, right? So what you want to pay attention to is like anytime these candles form, right? Depending on the volume, even like you can tell back here, like look at this volume, right? 103, right? There's a lot of people that was feeling bullish on this stock, right? And as you can see, it definitely made a push higher. So even if you was to buy in like right here, right, you could still make profit, right, off of that $5 move.
perfect, perfect. So I have one question for you, right? So you see how you go over to the left, you see the red candlestick, the doji.
Yes, sir.
All right. So what was the volume on that?
Uh, the volume on that
To
was
the left, all the way to the left. Go
right here.
over. Yeah, yeah. What was the volume?
Let's see. Volume right here was 118.
So that means that we had a full out battle between buyers and sellers.
Right.
All right, perfect, perfect.
In order to keep the trend of the stock, right?
Okay, perfect.
And as you can see off the last candle, it was a pretty decent little gap down from the sell off, right? But as y'all can see, try to make this clear. As y'all can see, my 20 SMA found support. Well, they found support off my 20 SMA, right? And they was able to push a little bit higher to reach these levels, but they couldn't really break through into this candle right here, right? So that's why I had support line up here to let me know if it cracked down and if it becomes like the new resistance, right?
Okay, perfect.
But yeah, like I was saying earlier, going back to Apple, it would be like a great time to buy in, right? Because Apple's a great company. It's not going anywhere. It's staying making new highs, right? It's
Break
keeping.
that down to them because a lot of people don't understand what new highs or new lows are.
Okay, so let me see if better yet, I just do this. Um, Typically when you're making newer highs, you're breaking the previous higher highs, right? Um, Draw a little trend line real quick. Let y'all see what I'm talking about. So if we pay attention to Apple, right, from its lowest point,
You can take it up a little, Chris. You see the green spot under the yellow? Go down a little and go over to the left. Right there.
okay.
Because you can
So
see them it breach the line and
right,
then it bust through the resistance or the
right.
line you set. Perfect. I like this. This looks
So
beautiful.
so typically you want to pay attention to this range, right? So a lot of people, they can easily say like, judging off of previous history with Apple, because of course we had 2020 with the pandemic, and as you can see, it took a nice little
And
dip
now,
in
now
March.
tell me what was that price on 2020? And people thought I was so crazy. Now look at this price, ladies and gentlemen.
At its lowest.
Tell me what that price was.
Oh, $53.15.
Come on now. To me,
Yeah,
that was the best time to get in for long term, even
yeah.
though
I
Apple
would
did
have
its
I would
split.
have threw the whole check in there.
Right.
Like, say,
Because it's
Why
like
not?
right? If you want to build wealth, you got to catch these companies at its bottom. And that was your perfect opportunity because now it's actually double that.
Right. And then I can see just over time with the pandemic, people just was like they had to stay in the house. They had to use their Zooms, their Apple products, just to even keep their sanity in check. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So
So it was perfect opportunity to be able to, if you like a company, to glorify a company, but also make money off a company. So remember what I told you a while back. The talk is totally different when you're talking to your friends. Hey, I got 50 Apple stocks. I got the new iPhone 12. That don't compare.
right,
You spent $1,200 on an iPhone when you could have spent $1,200 on shares.
right,
Even though you're paying over time, you can make that same payment monthly into your Apple portfolio, buying stocks and actually keep adding it.
right,
Right. So back to what you were saying, you talking about the new highs and new lows. Let's see how that
right.
looks on your
So
trade line.
so typically when the stock is in a uptrend or downtrend, it usually makes a range, right? It has a range. Well, what goes up must come down, right? To because you have sellers, you have people that are taking profits off the table. So obviously the stock has to dip down. So we call that pullbacks, dips,
Consolidation.
consolidation. You know what I'm saying? Healthy pullbacks, as market corrections. It's a lot of different terminologies behind it, right? So for this particular stock, right, as you can see, when Apple was making these long bullish pushes, it had to reach an apex, right? And then eventually sell off, right? Zoom in a little bit. So as you can see, once it sold off, right, people were taking their profits off the table, right? So in this situation, it broke the uptrend, right? Your first point of support would have been like somewhere around here, right? So once that sell off broke this, and then it broke this range right here, you knew the trend was broken, right? Even the SMA would have told you, like after it broke that, the trend just continued down, right? Until it found some support at the bottom, right? So from that from that situation, you want to pay attention to previous highs of even off of like slight pullbacks off of the downtrend, right? Even when it's on a bearish run, right? Because as you can see, once it bottomed out, it started making its way higher. It met some resistance off of previous levels, right? So you want to pay attention to that when you're trading intraday, or it just depends on the time frame that you're on, right?
So you can actually use that to set a stop loss if
Correct.
you're doing option trading or okay, perfect.
Correct. Because it'll tell you, market data will tell you when you're coming up to it. Think of it like an exit on an interstate, right? You know how you have the sign coming up telling you like exit 1B
Yeah,
is coming up in 2.5 miles. That's kind of like the market. It gives you indications like, hey, resistance level 125 is coming up in about a week and a half, or maybe a week, depending on market flow. You see what I'm saying? In
perfect.
that type of sense. But yeah, you typically, yeah, from this sense, you could just say Apple was just consolidating. So it, it's long term, it looks very consolidation wise, like it just doesn't really seem like, but there's opportune times to buy in too, because
Can
as you
you
can see,
circle those opportunities so people can see them? Because
gotcha.
I see multiple opportunities to get in for long term and be able to be successful at making a profit.
Right, you could have got in right here. Um, because as they're making new highs, they're keeping the uptrend, because this trend is holding true to its nature, its bullish nature, right? Because no
Mhm.
matter how high it goes, right, it never meets the level that it previously had a lower low at, right?
Perfect. I
So
see that.
so as it makes a push higher and finds a new resistance, even after the sell-off, right, you want to pay attention to the previous level, right? And once it finds like a support, and you can tell that the trend is starting to reverse, that's when you jump in. You buy in, boom, right here, 110. Hold on, excuse me. Let's see how much this was.
So you saying when it bounces off support, and when it's heading in the uptrend is the time to buy to be able to execute.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
But no matter where you get in, like, well, I ain't gonna say no matter where you get in, but depending on where you get in, as long as you know the trend reversing, it's a good time to like buy in and have shares, have option swings. You
So
know what I'm
when
saying?
was this 118? When was this? The date?
They had a low of 108 on it looks like November 3rd. That's what it,
Wow. So around before the Turkey Day, before
mm-hmm.
Christmas, people could have got busy and bought long-term stocks and look at the growth now.
Right,
Okay.
right.
All right. So
Yeah,
that's why I say long-term pays, and that's why I try to tell people option trading is good. It's a cheat code, but at the end of the day, if you in a cheat code only, if you lose money on just trading, but you didn't put no money away in long term, guess what? You end up being back at what? Ground zero.
correct.
All right, perfect. So Apple looks good. How do Walmart looks?
All right. Let's see here.
Wow. Wow, wow,
Mhm.
wow. And
So,
what time frame is on? 2 years?
yes, sir. 2 years daily.
Okay, perfect, perfect.
Okay.
Uh let's go ahead, do your thing.
Okay. So Walmart, right? Just like we said earlier, great company. Conglomerate has what you don't need, everything you do need, all that, right? So as you can see,
Look at that resistance, bro.
yeah. Walmart,
It's like typically hit 152, 153, and it always rejects back down. That's
right.
funny.
So I'm gonna be honest with you guys, right? When you wanna look into trading these companies, you want to pay attention to ranges like this. When I'm charting and when I'm like looking for ranges, I always draw like this little box area where it has like a range of this price action, right? Where it's constantly meeting these resistance levels, right? Though sometimes it's depending on like the dollar movement of the stock, it'll be like $1 to $2. Um, but as you can see, like Walmart, even just right here, these levels, right? 153, just the 150 levels, right? You can see these levels because every time they hit them, they always top out, and then you see what a sell off, right? One sell off, hit it again, right? It kept tapping. I'm pretty sure this will look like a triple top in some situation, right? One, two, three, right? Hit 153, sold off, right?
Right.
And then yeah, you just want to pay attention to these levels. Like even right down here, right? You know Walmart is gonna recover this. You know they're gonna recover this. Look at this double bottom that formed, right? I mean, you basically see it. It made lower highs, right?
Look at that. Beautiful.
Beautiful, right? I mean, it's almost like music, right? You see this stuff, and then you just know to like execute. Oh snap! You just know to execute, right? Because look, if you had a bought in right there, right?
And what was
Yeah.
that price point, Chris? The first bottom.
Okay. Let's see here. First bottom
That's the
was
uptrend. That's what that is.
at a low of 126.
All right. So ladies and gentlemen, listen to what Chris just said. It was a bottom of 126, and the current price is 150, 145. That's a $25 swing. So
Right.
remember, long-term pays, that's $25 a share. Remember, every time you go to Walmart, you pick 3 items, it's $300.
Right.
Walmart, hey, we're gonna charge you as inflation.
Right. Price of milk is going up. And look, no matter where you bought from right there, it never reached that level again. Right. Now, guys, I want y'all to pay attention, right? What did I just say about these 150 levels, right? History always repeats itself, right?
Always.
Until it's proven to make newer highs, right? So how I'm feeling on this stock right now, right? I think Cardet would agree with me when I say I would pay attention to this range, right? See if it can hit this 153, right? If it hits 153, right, and it breaks this range and that
New
becomes
highs.
new support, look for a push higher and then a pullback and then another push higher, right? Going into next week, judging off this SMA and how this trend is going, Yeah, they're definitely going to be testing it. Futures look good. Yeah, this thing is going to be tested, and more likely it's going to break. Knowing Walmart.
Uh-huh. So a little gem for you guys, right? If you guys is gonna play options, right? I'm trying to get people familiar with do not play if that's your thing to play earnest, but if you're gonna play earnest 3 weeks ahead of time so you can get the run up so you could judge the stock and you could be able to get out of your position. Or if you have multiple contracts, you could sell 5 if you have 10 and you can ride 5 into earn.
Right.
I don't know if I'm gonna be playing earnest though, to be honest.
Yeah, it's very hard and it's very difficult. But at the end of the day, when you plan it, you just got to have a rule and you just got to have an entry and an exit. And you can't do nothing. And remember, follow your rules to a T. Because if you don't follow your rules to the T, you're going to constantly keep making the same decisions and mistakes.
hmm And I just want to point out again that, like I say, pay attention. If you're thinking about trading Walmart right now, right? You want to make sure it keeps this trend. You want to make sure it keeps this push higher, right? Because look how many times it met this level and got rejected, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's coming up to a fifth time, right? I guess with the way this big candle and the way this volume is kind of stacking up, and they just had earnings, I see this breaking 153.
I can see it push to a new high because the last high was 153. What?
65, I believe.
I
Yeah,
can see it testing that.
yes, sir. And even beforehand, it's gonna make that $2 run by tomorrow, right? So I would be looking out for Walmart. If going into next week, I would be looking to trade Walmart, even just for a nice little intraday. You can probably take a nice little contract out to let's see. Yeah,
It's not super delta.
yeah. You could
Um,
probably take you a nice little contract out to a strike of 152.
155 seems reasonable.
Yeah, yeah. And I was gonna say, and remember, guys, no matter where you buy it out of the money, as long as it's going that direction, you're gonna make money.
Right,
Right?
right. But don't go buy a contract 170 out of the money and expect to make a lot of money unless you got a lot of contracts. And once you reach your certain percentage, get out of your contract. Get out of your contract.
Right.
Sell and make you a small profit and keep it moving. All
Correct.
right. So bonus. Before I get on and do my lucid, Chris, can you go on there? Can you chart Zoom for me?
No problem, sir. I'm pretty sure I already got it. I always keep Zoom charted. I'm a believer in Zoom.
Right. As you can go you can go check inside the what is it called? The Hungries. I was talking with a guy back before. He's feeling bearish on it. I said, you're gonna be wrong.
Nah, I'm telling you, it's finding levels.
Look at that. Look at the last
Uh-huh.
candle. It actually breached that 340.
Right. That's what I'm
And
saying.
then it bounced back down.
Guys, y'all just want to pay attention to this. I mean, you gotta understand, man. This is almost art, right?
Let's look at Zoom on a 1 year. You got a 1 year? Because that's when it made its move because of the pandemic.
I got you.
You got weekly, change it from period to weekly.
Okay.
So people can see this.
I got you.
See a lot of buy-in points.
Yeah.
Too many.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta understand, right? Last year with the pandemic, everybody was using Zoom, right? Everybody was making business calls. Yep. Yeah, he had to do school, work, and everything. So people was really buying into this stock, right? It hit a high of 588, 84, right? And then, of course, you had your bearish run afterwards, but going up to it now, it found support around, see, 273.
That was a low point.
That was
a time for people to get in if they want to be able to buy long term, or they could have did a swing trade, and they could have made profits because as you can look on the weekly, it ran up almost 2 months.
Right. And even if the stock does continue downward, right? Which I highly doubt. Because, even with the fear of just like the lockdown coming back and the Delta variant, man, I can easily see this stock getting this height back to hit 588.
And not only that, a lot of schools around the nation is actually talking about shutting down because a lot of kids is actually getting infected with the variant and COVID-19. So they're gonna go back to what? Online learning.
Correct. The safest. So
Right.
guys, like, yeah, just this is a great point to buy in. Like, honestly, if you can't see that it's gonna repeat this history, I mean, guys, like lockdown, March, fearful, everybody scared. I mean, look, even if you had a bought in right here, look at that run.
Right.
That low point, look at that.
Right, right.
$107.
So remember what I told you about doing leap contracts, right? Even if you would have got in at 105, now go all the way over to the right. Look at that. Look at that, Chris. Go all the way over. Look at the current price. A leap contract for a year. Look where you'll be sitting at. Right? So you gotta understand, you gotta play the game, you gotta play the game to win. And a lot of people just play the game for the moment. They're not thinking long term, they're not thinking owning anything. Ownership is the key. When you have ownership, ladies and gentlemen, you have freedom.
Right.
Right? What we invest for is to buy back freedom for ourselves and our family and our kids. Right? You want to be able to decide, hey, you know what? I don't want to go to work today. I got my own business. I got freedom. I got $600,000 in stock. I can move how I want to move.
Right.
Right. So that's what it's back. So I like, to me, I agree with you. I think Zoom is heading where it's gonna head. I think like you said, history always repeats itself. If you follow patterns and you feel comfortable with buying in at low points, because there's so many points that you could have bought in and you could have made profits on Zoom.
Correct.
Right? You don't need it to bottom. You just need to understand patterns.
Correct.
Right? If you understand patterns, it will put you in position to be successful.
That's true. That's very true. And you're gonna want to watch Zoom hold this trend, right? You want to make sure you can hold this ascending triangle, right? Because it's making this higher higher highs and these lower highs, right? Staying true to the trend, right? So until this thing really starts going south, which I doubt, I mean, I'll be looking for like this type of support level down here, right? Like this previous support of, let me see where it got down to 273, right? But like I said, I just don't see it. And then we have earnings coming up soon, so yeah,
we could see a push over the next couple of days if you really want to be honest and tech. If you want to be honest, especially tomorrow, because on Friday, as you could tell, it had $11 increase. Now
right.
go back and change it to daily. All right, you see the push up? You see the candlestick? We had $11 increase, right? So if people really was looking to make money, they could have got in at a great position.
And it's already up $4 in after hours.
Right, so this is a good position to be in. Like I said, I like Zoom for the base hit, and then I like Zoom when the basis is loaded for a grand slam. I think around $25, $40. Right, and that will put you in a good position to be able to make profits.
And then you gotta pay attention to this RSI too.
Right. The RSI is very low. It's around 40.
Right.
So that's a good position to be in. Remember, I can respect that position. Right. Some things that I just live by. I love the RSI. It actually put me in position to make a lot of money off of contracts and a lot of money off of long-term investment. Right. All right. So I'm gonna take over and I'm gonna do Luicd. Okay. And I'm gonna give a breakdown on my presentation, and then I'm gonna show a few things that I would like to show. All right, so I'm gonna share my screen with you. Let me know what you see on your screen. Let's see where we at. All right, so boom. All right, what you see on my screen? You see nothing, right?
Yeah, now I see something.
All right, perfect. I don't know why that's loaded up, but can you see Trading View?
Yes, sir. I see Luicd.
All right, perfect. So I want to go ahead and convert it to stockcharts.com. You can see it?
Yes, sir.
All right, so the stock that we're gonna be covering, ladies and gentlemen, is Lucid Air. To me, I could see them reaching 50% capacity of what Tesla is currently at right now. All right, so when we're looking at Lucid, ladies and gentlemen, this is on stockcharts.com. Like I said, when it comes to technical indicators and all of that, we're gonna make it happen. All right, so Lucid had a top, which was a what? A major resistance, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so reach this top major resistance, right? And then, as you know, once the top, the RSI is above what? It's actually approaching 90. So if you
Correct.
know the rule of the RSI is 70-30, when the 70 is oversold, but it can continue in an uptrend, you just gotta be patient and you gotta be positive. You gotta understand that I'm gonna take advantage when I have the opportunity,
Right.
right? A lot of people be like, oh no, it's not doing what I said it's gonna do. You just gotta take your time, man. Be patient, right? So once again, it reached this top. RSI is telling you to sell, and then we had a what?
Downtrend.
A straight down trend, right? Remember, it's dropped at 20, so that should have signified you to buy in for what?
Long term.
Right? So we're gonna label that what? LT,
Okay.
long term entry, right? All right, so we got long term entry at $20, right? I want you guys to understand, right? So even we had an uptrend that's telling you to buy RSI. Remember, when you come from the top, the new 30 is 50. Y'all got that?
Right.
The new 30 is 50. All right, so what we looking at is we had a little small uptrend at 32, right? All right, so that's a $12 increase per share. Then we had a small what? A downtrend. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so when we had our double bottoms right here, what we should have did?
Buy in long term.
Right? You buy in and you what? Average it what?
Average it down.
Right? So remember, you got in at 20, then you bought in at 17, right? So that's $34 together combined. So that means you would have paid what? How much you would have paid per share? $17 a share, right? Well, that's $37. So you would have paid what? Let's do the math. 37 divided by 2, right? 40 divided by 2 is 20. You take away that. So about 17, about 18.50 a share. To me, that's quality point, because right now, if you look at the path as it increases and it moves, what do you guys see? It never went below what? Below $18.
Right.
Right. So we had a double bottom. After double bottom, we always have what?
A major swing.
A major swing to the upside, right? So if you average that $18 a share, now it's $27 a share. You actually up $9 a share.
Right.
You got that? And then if you look, it dipped below our what? Our 200-day moving average right here, right?
Right.
So this will signify you to do what?
Buy.
Buy in. So once again, you bought in at 21.50 and it actually moved to 21.78.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then we had a few resistance level, which is cool. It hit 29 twice, right?
Mm-hmm.
See that? But it never breached the 30.
We can jump in right now to get that $8 move.
Right, because remember, history always do what?
Repeats
itself, ladies and gentlemen. RSI is what? 38.28. All right, if you know anything about me, the money flow is what?
70.
It's 28, right? Yeah. The rule to the money flow is 80-20. Yeah, and then if you want to go down and you want to look at the ADX, all right, remember, when the green crosses the red is in a bullish trend. When the red crosses the green is in a bullish trend. Right now, it was heading in a bearish trend, but it was overcame by the end of the day because we opened up at what? 21 what? 21.75, right? And we sitting at what? 21.78. Right? Remember, cents and pennies, all of it matters. You don't need large movements because remember, you bought in at 20, 2040, 1762, 1725, you average down and your shares was like 1850, 1860. Nowhere along this path that you would have lost any money.
Nope.
Right? So that's what I mean about buying the bottoms and being successful, because remember, RSI is giving you the times when to buy and when to sell. And if you can't listen to these rules, trading is not for you, because you have to have patience and you got to be positive and you got to be persistent. Once again, I showed you a double bottom. Right?
Right.
Once again, we had another uptrend from $22 to 29, and it met resistance. Go ahead, Chris.
No, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just wanted to point something out. You see that support
Something
level.
muffling. That's your phone or something?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Do you see that support level 21 over there the first time around January 2021?
Right here.
Right. Y'all can pay attention to these levels. I know 21 is definite price action support.
Right. And now look at that. How many times it dipped below that we could have bought in? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, right? 4.
Right.
We got so many entry points, right? Remember, people is worrying about the top and they forgetting about the what?
Bottom.
The bottom. You want to buy high and you want to sell low, or you want to buy high, you want to average down, or if you get into hedging, you can hedge it with puts, right? So that's Luicd on stockcharts.com. But when it comes to if you want to option trade, Chris, I don't know what happened, your phone muffling or something, computer.
Hold on. CJ, that's your fan?
Yeah, something is running, but
CJ, mute your mic.
All right, perfect. All right, so when we get to Luicd on Trading View, right? So now if we trading on Luicd on Trading View, right? We want to look at Luicd over the last month. All right. All right, so what day is this? We got July what? July 26, right?
Right.
If we're looking at volume and anything like that, right? So what's the top? 28 what? Right? Let's see. All right, so our high point was 28 what? 46. You see that?
Right.
All right, so now if we following trends, all right, if we option trade, it's totally different from buying shares. All right, so if we following trends, let's pay attention. All right, so when it topped out at 28.60, come on now. All right, let's move over. Because this is very important that people need to understand that you have to follow the trend. You can't go against the trend. If you go against the trend, it will put you in position to be not successful. A lot of people is not successful because they don't follow the trend. As you notice, we had what kind of run up, Chris? Remember, I told you confirmation is when I'm dealing with this, I'm looking at what? How many candles? 1, 2, and then I'm getting in on the what? The third one. And then we still had a run up, right? So if I'm option trading, if I'm scalping, I get in on the third confirmation and I get out at the what? At the top.
At the top. Right.
Right. Remember, I got in here. Right. So remember, if it trades sideways, guess what? I still could get out right here and still made what?
Profit. Because it never dipped below your entry point.
It never dipped below my entry point, right? And then once again, we had a what? A downtrend, right? So look at this downtrend, ladies and gentlemen. See that? Even though it breaches a new high, if you got in right here, if you're an experienced trader, guess what? It never dipped. It went a little higher, but after the fact, it went all the way down to a what? A downtrend.
Right.
Right. You had so many points where you could have stacked contracts. I like to stack contracts. My entry point is 3 candlestick confirmation, but to stack my contracts is 2 candlesticks confirmation. Right. I could have stacked here, here, here. I could have kept stacking. You see that, Chris? Every 2 candlesticks, I could have stepped stacking, and I could have got out what?
At the bottom.
I got out here, right? This is why I got majority of my contract. Well, I could have got out any point around here. Right? So let's say I exit at the bottom. I walk away with profits. Right? Okay. So now if we want to look at something, we're going to change the time frame, right? So if you want to be able to look at this, is on a 30-minute, right? So let's change it to a shorter time frame. And I would say that time frame, a lot of people like to trade on a 5-minute. But to me, I think the 3-minute is a little bit better.
Right.
Right? Because it gives you a little bit more accurate information in the moment if you're trading in a position that you're trying to trade for scalping. All right, perfect. So we'll do the 3-minute. All right, so if you look at the 3-minute, right? Once again, if we was scalping, if we found this out 1, 2, what we would enter at, Chris? We would enter here.
Right.
All right. 2171, right? 1, 2, I would have added more contracts. Let's say I added 5 here, 5 here. 1, 2, I added more contracts. That's 5. 1, 2, I added more contracts. That's 20 contracts here, right?
Right.
Remember, I got 20 contracts here. All right, we went from what? 2171. Where we currently at? 2187. And let's say I didn't add no more contracts and I sold at the top. I sold well at 28,
21.
right?
Yeah.
22.
Well, 20. Yeah.
Right? So I went from here, right? 2171. I went up 29 cents, right? So let's do the math. If I got 20 or 25 to 20 contract, and let's say my delta is $25, and I was able to go up what? How many cents? 30 cents, right?
Right.
So let's say the 30, let me divide this. So if my delta is $25 for $1, let me divide this. $1 divided by 100 times 30 cents. All right, so let's say it's I'm making, let's see, this, because this makes sense to people when they break down the math. My delta is $25 divided by 100, right? So now if 30 cents of $1 is 30%, right? So that means I'm making $7.05 each contract, and I got 25 contracts. So $7.05 times 25 will equals $187.50. That's a good profit. I'm taking that profit. I'm selling. I'm walking away with a profit. Remember, small bags dailies, ladies and gentlemen, because remember, we had a what? A double what?
Bottom.
We had a double bottom, so we know what was going to come. A what? A uptrend. You just got to be patient and you got to be positive. Right? I got 25 contracts. Remember, I got in. I stacked my contracts up to 25 contracts. And that 25 contracts paid me $187.50 profit. Now, remember, if I would have stacked it 50 contracts, you would have doubled that 197. And while I stacked the 100 contract, you would have doubled that. You would have had 4 times 187. So this is how you make profits, and this is how you grow. Right? So if y'all want to see if history repeats itself, we could just keep on sliding. And once again, what do we have, Chris? Right? We had a double bottom and we had a what?
Bullish run.
And then we had a what?
Bearish run.
Once again, it keeps repeating itself, ladies and gentlemen. This is W's, this is double bottom, triple bottoms. You just got to be patient and you got to be positive and you got to pick your right positions and you got to understand you got to stack your contracts in transition.
Yes, sir.
So if you want to make money, you have to stack your contracts. You got to pick quality companies that moves. Right now, if you pick a company that doesn't really move well, to me, you should take it out for longer contracts so your theta won't eat you up.
Right.
Right. Remember, your delta is very important. Either you make money or you lose money. With your theta, you're going to lose money regardless. So you want to be able to cover that by having a what? A solid delta.
Right.
Right. So let's continue to be positive. And I want you, ladies and gentlemen, to understand when you wake up every morning, you want to be able to check the what?
Futures.
Fear and greed index.
Well, yeah, that too.
Right? Because if you're checking the fear and greed index, what state is the economy in right now, ladies and gentlemen? Everybody is being what? Extremely fearful. Remember, when I told you, if everybody's being fearful, you need to be what? Greedy. So that means you need to start buying these quality companies when they bottom out. Because eventually these companies are going to go up. Warren Buffett is sitting on a pile of cash over $184 billion in cash flow, right? He's picking in his pockets to buy these quality companies because he knows a 10% correction is coming, right? So he's going to wait. He's going to be positive. He's going to buy these corrections. To me, I want to get in now and start buying these quality companies and I can average it down. Right. So the fear and greed index is very important. You want to check that every day. You want to gauge the mental capacity of people and their emotion. Because remember, the emotional sentiment is everything. And then once again, you want to check the what every morning. If you're really serious about your investment and making profits and putting yourself in position to be successful, you want to be able to check the what? The futures market. Right. So currently right now, the futures market, the Dow Jones is up plus $16. The S&P futures is plus 375, and the Nasdaq is plus 29.25. right? If it continue this trend, I make money because I swung QQQ over the weekend,
Mm-hmm.
right? And now if the S&P picks up and it be positive, so you know what that means for UVXY. When Monday come around, UVXY is going to have a drop,
Yep. Put city.
right? So remember, everything has something that works in the opposite direction of that stock or that ETF. So you can make money on the put side, the call side, ladies and gentlemen. And like I said, if Chris, you got anything to add at the end, we're gonna end this and we're gonna try to enjoy the rest of our night, and we're gonna try to put everybody in a position that we know that's positive and that's looking to build. We're gonna try to build something that's great, and we're gonna try to put people in position to be successful. So like I said, I appreciate you for coming through. I'm gonna post this in a group so everybody can get an understanding on how we work and when we work, because people don't understand that there's a lot of work that's done behind the scene that people need to see and people need to grasp that it's a lot of work that goes into this. But one more thing that I forgot, Chris,
Mm-hmm.
and you almost let me walk away with this. How could you do that, Chris?
Well, I'm like, wait, what I forget now?
Chris forgot. You forgot to tell me that I had to break down my PowerPoint presentation.
Oh man.
Right, because this is very important. Like, people want to see this. All right. Let me know. I will break it down tonight and I will add it. But let's be successful, Chris. And like I said, your day, your time is coming. Your hard work is going to pay off. You're going to be able to transition to a position that you don't never have to turn back. And you would decide if you want to do a 9 to 5. You would decide what you want to do in life. You would have options. Like I said, I appreciate you. I respect you. And I want to keep on building, and I want to put us in a position so we both can be successful, and anybody that comes in contact with us can be successful. So I'm gonna stop recording,